Okay guys, before this tutorial starts, I just want to let you guys know that these two tutorials are really long. Well, it's one tutorial split into two parts, but they're quite long, and I try to simplify it as much as I can. So it gets kind of boring because I'm trying to think, and usually I kind of try to make my tutorials a little bit entertaining. But please, if you want to know how to do this, just stick with the video and just look what I do if you can't stand my voice after a while. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I hope you learn a lot. 150 likes for part 2, and thank you guys. What's up guys, Qehzy here, bringing you guys another tutorial. This one is on how to make these cool banners, manipulation banners I guess you could call them. And here's two examples. Here's one I made for the Qehzy contest, and here's one for sword sniping. As you can see with the sword one, I basically had the logo and I added some pipes and things to match the building it was on. And I'm going to be showing you guys the Cinema 4D part and everything in part 1 of this tutorial. And then part 2 is going to be all the Photoshop stuff. Although I might have some Photoshop stuff in part 1. Part 2 will come out at 150 likes, and all the project files for this tutorial will come at 200 likes. But the banner I'm going to be showing you how to make today is going to be this Air Robbie one. As you can see, this is just one I did for the Air contest a couple months ago. This is probably one of my favorite banners that I made this year, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's get right into the tutorial, because this is going to be a little bit longer than my usual tutorials. So open Cinema 4D, and then what you're going to want to do is go to your settings and go to output, and then you want to make the width and height the size of your image that you were using. So in my case, I have a smaller image. I suggest a big HD image. This one is not, but it worked anyway, so yeah, it's whatever. But as you can see, this is 843 by 472, so I'm going to type that in. 472, and for now I'm just going to leave it like that. We'll get into the settings later. Then I'm going to get a camera, and I'm going to click the black box so it's white, and I'm going to go to the rotation. I'm going to go 0, tab 0, enter, and then I'm just going to bring it towards the center, and you can line it up quite easily in the center, so something like that. There you go. And then I'm going to get a plane, and there's multiple ways to do this. This is the way I like and I prefer. So you can do it other ways. I think Ali has a tutorial on making manipulation banners. Not exactly sure how he does his, but this is how I do mine. I know it's different. I remember watching it like when it first came out last year. But get the plane and go to -Z, and then I'm just going to bring it up so it's centered in this. So like right there. And then again, make the size, the width and height the same size as your image, so 843 by 472, and that should be good, like right there. Alright, and then I'm going to go to create new material, double click on it. I'm going to uncheck specular, and then go and get the image I'm using as the texture, and I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to drag it on the plane, and there you go, you have your image in Cinema 4D. Again, there's multiple ways to do this. This is just the way I prefer. Then I'm going to go to File, Merge, and I'm going to get my logo. So I'm going to use the arrow logo once again. I think this is the one without wings. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'm just going to make it big. There we go. Center it a little more. Alright, I'm going to click out of the camera view and bring it forward. And I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to go get extrude nurbs. And let's see how many paths are here. Alright, I'm going to just select all the paths. I'm going to right click, connect objects, and delete. So now we have one path. Put that in the extrude nurbs. I'm just going to delete that null, and I'm going to go to the extrude nurbs. I'm going to make the depth like 50. I might adjust that later on. And then caps, I'm going to go fillet cap for both, and 1 centimeter. So there we go. And I'm going to adjust the size now so it kind of would fit into where we're putting this, which I'm putting it into this circular thing. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. And now you can see that our point, like where we shrink, and if we were to rotate it, our point, like our, I forget what it's called, but like this central point here, we don't want it there. We want it in the center of our logo, not way below it. So I'm going to go over here where there's a little angle. I'm going to click that, go to the move tool, and I'm just going to center that. Bring it over a little bit. Alright, there we go. Then I'm going to click it again, and now we move it. It's all good. Again, I'm going to go to the camera view, and then there's a few ways I do this. Sometimes I will duplicate this and then line it up, see how it looks in the actual spot, but I'm just going to add some touches to it. I'm going to bring it forward real quick. I'm going to add things. As you can see in this banner, I have like jagged edges and it's like cut out and stuff, and in this one I added pipes. So that's what you're going to do here. As you can see here, I added some just little divots and some like cracks and things. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the bool tool for this. And again, if you have a different HD image, you just want to kind of do things to the logo that make it blend with the background. So yeah, and then I'm going to go to the landscape, get that, and I'm going to check spherical. And I'm just going to make this smaller. And then I'm going to put the extrude nurbs in the bool, and I'm going to put the landscape in the bool below the extrude nurbs. And this should cut out a piece if I get it correctly. Bring it forward. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Alright, there we go. So we cut out a bit of that, and I'm just going to make this a bit longer. Oh crap. I'm going to hit C on the keyboard. Bring it a bit longer. And then that covers the whole bottom. And I'm just going to take this out of the bowl for now. And I'm going to duplicate it. Make it a little smaller. Like this. Bring it up. And I'm just going to have a little indent on the front. So hopefully like that should work. And I'm going to do it a third time and put one on the top. So duplicate it again. Maybe make it even smaller. And just bring it down. Alright, so you just want to kind of fix your logo so it looks good with whatever your background image is. I'm just going to leave this for now. I could probably do more and add more, but I think this should be alright for the tutorial. And yeah. So hopefully this works. It seems to not be working right now. What the heck? Let me just pause it real quick. Let me figure this out. Alright, there we go. I was able to fix it real quick. But from here, now if you would like, you can add materials. You can create your own and try to make it blend in. But I did that with my SOAR banner, and I think it could have come out a little nicer, and I kind of regret doing it that way. And then I did it with my UE background, and that came out alright. But with my Robbie background, which is the one I'm showing you, this way turned out a lot better. So if you notice again, our point here went away, so I'm gonna reline this up same way we did it before. Hopefully it doesn't. Alright, just get this kind of aligned. It keeps disappearing when I try to move it. Alright, a little further. Alright, there we go. And now I'm just gonna try to line it up with the circle that I'm trying to place it in. So this just takes a little playing around. So like that, and I want to tilt it around like this, up a little further, and now it's looking too big. And a lot of this is done in Photoshop, so that you just have to get the basic things down in Cinema 4D. What does this look like? Yeah, no, it doesn't look right. Bring it over a little bit. And you'll notice I'll have some of this parts will stick over this. We can just erase that in Photoshop. Oh. Maybe if I do a little of this. Alright, that's looking a little better. Alright, I think I'm just going to roll with this. I think I can make this work. Alright, so now you can add lighting and things. Usually I use V-Ray for this, so my lighting, I just add one light and it usually turns out pretty good. But you really just need the render portion of this, and then a lot of the work is done in Cinema 4 or in Photoshop. So you might be able to use the default lights, but let's go change the settings real quick. So output, all this is fine. Let's go to save, PNG, check alpha channel, save it to wherever you like. I'm just going to go to my desktop. Multipass, nothing. You want to go, okay, you want to go this tab, you want to go best. If you got a slower computer, you can go like 2x2 or whatever. I'm just going to keep it like this. Let's go to the options. Everything should be good there. You can use your Lightroom if you have one. That'll be fine, but in my case, I use V-Ray. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll not use it. And I'm just going to get a simple light. So let's look at our lights here. Now, I'm not a great lighting expert, but let me just mess around with some stuff. If I take this spotlight. No, I'm not going to use that. Maybe I just get a default light. And you want to place the light somewhere that it works with the image. So you want to look at your image and find out where the light is. So if I hide this, you can see the shadows are towards the left side. So the light's coming from this direction, up in the right. So I'm going to just do that. But we'll add shadows and things in Photoshop. So this isn't a big deal. And we're not going to render the background image with it. We're just going to be rendering the logo. So let's just get a standard look. Alright, that's looking pretty good. It's a little dark in there. Let me just see what it looks like from here. That's might be a little too dark. Let's just look. Yeah, it's quite dark in there. Let me just go back. Maybe bring this out a little more. Like that. Let me just duplicate this, bring one around. This will just be above it. I don't know, you can mess around with the light settings. Your Lightroom might look better. Alright, this is fine. You just basically need the gray logo, unless you want to, if you choose to add textures, which I find that doesn't work. But let's go ahead and render this, and I'll be back in Photoshop for the beginning parts of that, and yeah. Alright, so you want to have your image opened in Photoshop, and I'm just going to double click this, make this background unlocked, so layer 1, and then I'm going to drag my logo into here, and it should line up with the image. I'm just going to adjust this a bit, just find where I want it. So right about there works. And now I'm going to do a little bit of Photoshop, and then I'll save the rest for part 2. But basically, to get your texturing and things, you just want to pull textures from the image itself. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the background image, and I'm just going to get my pen tool. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm just going to get a piece of this, like so. I'm going to go up and make a selection, and then hit Control V, and now it will make a layer with this, and I just want to put this above the render and place it throughout, and I'm just going to keep merging them. Make sure you cover your whole logo, and then we're going to put this on overlay, and there you go, you get kind of your color. As you can see, you can get your texture. As you can see though, the color is not really matching, but it's good that it kind of stands out differently, because I gotta create a clip masking for it. There we go. Now it's just the logo. You kind of want it to be a different kind of color or else it doesn't stand out. I've made banners that I have had to scrap because the logo didn't stand out enough for me. So I'm going to keep this a little bit on the grayer side, but I'm going to try to make it match a little bit. So I'm going to duplicate this again, create clip masking, go to normal, and I'm just going to drag it down quite a bit, like so. There we go. And I'm going to adjust the render now. As you can see, it sticks over the edges here. I'm going to get my pen tool. I'm going to go in, and it's kind of rounded here, so like something like this. Make selection and just delete that out of there. Let's see how that looks. It's looking better. Let's go to this side now, and maybe if I just hide this. There we go. Make selection. Check that again. Delete. There we go. And now we're going to be adding shadows and things. And let's make a color correction real quick. So I'm going to go make a new group. And I'm actually going to select these. You can do Control G, put them in a group. This will be the render. And this will be the CC. So I'm just going to do a quick simple CC that I like to do. So I'm going to get some curves. Bring that down a bit. Bring that up a bit. Let's get a gradient map going. Black to white, overlay. And this is white to black, so let's reverse that. Bring down the opacity. Something like that. And now let's get some gradient that gives it some color. So I'm going to use this purple to orange. Put that on overlay. There we go. Something like that. That'll work. That'll work for now. We can make adjustments later on. As you can see, it looks kind of stupid. The logo looks kind of stupid right now. It just kind of looks like it's there. It doesn't really blend in. So we're going to have to add some shading. Let's see how long we are. 16 minutes. Yeah, this is going to be a long tutorial. So I'm going to go get my brush, get some black, and I'm going to bring this brush down. And I'm just going to make it a little smaller. You can do, there's a lot of shading that you have to do. You're going to have to make the bottom shading and of course the shadows. So I'm just going to go around here where I believe it would be dark. Remember, the sun's coming from over here, so the left side, like here, should be a little darker. I'm going to make this even a smaller brush. So I'm just going to go here. Should be a little darker in here. Should be a little darker right there. In here, right here. Let me zoom in a bit. Right there, and that's about it. I'd say I'm gonna put this on overlay, bring down the opacity a bit, like that. There we go. And now I'm gonna go make a new layer. I'm gonna get white this time, and this is just gonna be adding some lighting. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. Do something like that. Put that on overlay. Bring down the opacity. So now it's kind of like the light's hitting it there. And now we're going to make a new layer below the render. Make sure it's in the group. And we're going to make this brush smaller once again. Go to black this time. And I'm just going to trace around the bottom. Like this. Don't want to have too much sticking out, or else it's gonna look like it's floating, and I screwed up there. So let's see. Get a little more there. All right, and then you want to go back here. That should look like a shadow more or less, and I'm going to put it on overlay, bring it down, kind of starting to look more, or starting to look better. I don't like this edge right here. I think it sticks out a little too much, so I'm going to bring it out a little more, or bring it in, make a selection, delete, and now you can see it's starting to come together. We still have a lot to do. It still kind of looks a little bit weird, but I'm going to end this part for now. If you guys get 150 likes, I will be uploading part 2. So yeah, thank you guys for watching part 1. Yeah, so stay tuned for part 2. It's when the background comes together. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my last video, which was an underrated spotlight video, as well as my last tutorial, which was on abstract stocks in Photoshop, which is really cool. But thank you guys for watching part 1 of these tutorials. And remember, 150 likes for part 2. I'll upload it immediately. 200 likes for the project files, of this tutorial and the Robbie background. So thank you guys for watching, and peace.